Welcome to Worldwide Business. I'm Kathy Ireland. When diagnosing a patient's health, genotyping has become one of the most important advancements in the medical industry. Canon BioMedical is developing the next generation of genotyping technologies that will help enable scientists and clinicians to advance medical science while continuing to improve the health of their patients. CEO and President Akiko Tanaka and Life Sciences and Marketing Leader Dr. Brian McNally are here to tell us more. Welcome to you both.
Thank you for having us.
It's great to be here.
Akiko, Canon's interest in biomedical applications, it stems back to its first president. Can you tell us more about that history?
So our first president was Dr. Takeshi Mitarai, and he was actually an OBGYN doctor, and he was financially supporting a small startup business in Tokyo. And the small startup company became Canon, actually. And of course, Mr. Dr. Mitarai has to become a full-time business person. But he wanted to retain his passion and interest in healthcare, so he asked his engineers to make Canon technology in advancing medicine. He wanted to use the Canon cameras in X-ray detection that leads to the screening and diagnosis of tuberculosis, and which was epidemic in Japan in 1940s.
Right. And with that in mind, is Canon BioMedical establishing a new business or global market for Canon?
Yes, we are, and we are building our presence in the influential and key science and conferences and meetings, and we are raising awareness of Canon. And through our product portfolio, we are supporting scientists and clinicians. We are also planting seeds for our future business.
And Akiko, could you please share Canon's Kiyose philosophy and what that means for its biomedical venture?
Okay. Kiyose is a Japanese word, and which means coexistence, symbiosis, or simply it's living together. And we define it as all people, regardless of religion, race, or culture, living and working together in harmony for the future. And we take that into all phases of business practices and all stages of our product life cycles, and from designing, engineering, manufacturing, sales and marketing, and servicing. And this is very important for medical business and biomedical business, because this will drive us to put our customers first, and this is going to ensure reliability and quality of our services and products.
Brian, would you please explain to our viewers what genotyping is?
Sure. Genotyping is really the investigation of our genome, so our DNA. It begins with really understanding the DNA within our cells directs our cells in our bodies to form and the function that they'll take on. So it's what makes us unique as individuals and what separates us from other species. Now, specifically in the early 2000s, there were a number of genome projects that sequenced the whole genome, and you might remember in 2003 there was the announcement of the completion of the human genome. And this gave an amazing tool to scientists around the world because it's a reference genome. It's something that everybody can compare sequence to understand where there are differences amongst us. So there's a number of different technologies that scientists can employ to do genotyping. And then when they acquire the data, they compare to that reference genome looking for genetic variations. Now, these different technologies that are available to them, they have to choose the right technology for the given experiment that they need. An example, when there's, for instance, sometimes a patient that there's nothing known about, then sometimes the scientists will choose an unbiased approach where they will try to sequence literally almost the entire genome looking for a variation. This obviously can yield exciting discoveries, but it's not really very cost effective. It's an expensive, laborious procedure that requires really advanced data analytics. On the contrast, sometimes scientists have an idea of what's already the variation and they just need to test for it. When they want to do that, they choose a technology that's very rapid, it's cost effective, and it's simple to use in their own laboratory. And this is the track that Canon BioMedical has taken with our first products, is delivering rapid results in the laboratory for targeted genetic variations.
And Brian, what type of genetic variations is Canon BioMedical interested in?
Yeah, Canon BioMedical is really interested in enabling scientists and clinicians to advance molecular medicine. And with that in mind, when you think about the number of genetic variations that have been documented in the tens of millions in the human genome, that would be an amazing amount to have to pick from. But in the National Institutes of Health database, the ClinVar database, there's only about 300,000 variations that have been ascribed to disease and disorders, so that narrows the list down quite a bit. But then there's a number of different types of variations. Sometimes the DNA molecules are just one change, so a single nucleotide change. Other times it's the insertion and deletion of large stretches of DNA that has an impact on human biology. With those in mind, Canon BioMedical has pursued to look at any of those that are relevant to advancing molecular medicine today, whether it's small or very large. And then we've taken our unique abilities in our R&D department to design assays that are unique. In fact, about 10% of our portfolio has no technological equivalent in the marketplace. And so we're very excited to be giving solutions to the customers and the scientists to enable them their discoveries.
Well, in this worldwide business field report, we visit the Canon BioMedical corporate headquarters to learn more about how they are developing new solutions for genetic research.
Since 1933, beginning with precision optical instruments, Canon has been long recognized as a dominant leader in the marketplace. With a focus on empowering the biomedical research and healthcare communities, Canon has now entered the biomedical field, developing technologies and solutions to help enable scientists to improve our health and advance science.
Since the discovery or the sequencing of the human genome, scientists in the biomedical research field have been able to associate specific genetic targets with human development, human health, and even human disease states. And they can use this information to study specific disease states or even develop new drugs or new therapeutics that are specific to the gene target.
Canon's biomedical technology provides the tools biomedical professionals need for genotyping testing and research.
There are a couple of different needs for the customers when we do genotyping testing. So from the customer perspective, it is of course good if the method is simple, inexpensive, and can be used for multiple applications. And that's exactly what the high-resolution melting technology does. I'm of course involved in the assay development area, so we have some specific needs for the assays itself. Namely, they need to be very specific, they need to be very sensitive, and they need to be very reproducible. So the HRM assays that we have developed are very robust, and small changes in the experimental conditions, such as the DNA concentration, the DNA quality, or even PCR instrumentation doesn't affect the results with our assays.
With a focus on faster genotyping, the biomedical industry can look forward to a partnership with Canon BioMedical in their effort to advance scientific exploration and ultimately improve patient health.
Brian, can you give us an example of how specific variations in our genomes affect our health?
Yeah, it's a great question because, as I said before, there's so many variations to look at,
Right.
Hundreds of thousands that impact our health. Some that are in the popular media, for instance, a lot of people are familiar with mutations in the BRCA genes that affect familial breast cancer and potentially ovarian cancer. There's also a genetic impact on cardiovascular disease, hypertension, metabolic diseases like diabetes, neurodegenerative diseases like Alzheimer's and Parkinson's have a genetic component. In fact, there's a growing body of literature that suggests that even psychiatric disorders like schizophrenia have a genetic component. But I think what we're most excited about at Canon BioMedical is not just the potential diagnosis of a disease from a genetic trait, but also the genetics that impact the therapeutic response of patients. This field of pharmacogenetics looks at the genetic component of how you respond to a drug. I'm sure that, you've met people who have said, oh, I take too much of this drug and I don't feel well, or, oh, I need a little bit more, it's not helping me. Well, there could be a genetic underlying cause for that differential response in different patients. And so we're really excited about not only the contributions of genetics to diagnosing a disease,
Right.
but also to helping guide the therapy that's going to make people feel better.
That's wonderful. Akiko, could you please share with us some of Canon BioMedical's latest developments?
So Canon BioMedical is established in 2015, and since then we've been introducing hundreds of different genotyping assays and empowering scientists and researchers in the biomedical field. And we are going to add more to that, and Brian can talk about this a little bit more in detail.
The solutions that we provide certainly target the individual genetic variations.
Right.
But on top of that, scientists require controls in order to have accurate results that they can really depend on, as well as the transformation that's happened in laboratories where there's a lot more acquisition of digital data that then has to be analyzed that can often be challenging to look at. And so with that in mind, Canon BioMedical has done two things. One, last fall, we launched a series of control products. These products then go along with the assays to provide a reliable comparative tool for their results. The second thing is algorithms. The data analysis is something that we've gone to international conferences and presented work that describes those algorithms and how they could be employed to do data analysis. When we take the controls together with the algorithms and the products we already have, we're really offering a complete solution for the scientific community.
There is a lot of variation between the individual as well as populations, and there are some estimates that up to 0.1% of the DNA bases, which accounts for 3 million total, are different between two individuals. Some of these are very small changes and not so significant to the protein function, but some are very significant, mainly coming from the larger changes or from mutations, and this will have a great impact on the human health. So what is very important for us to know is obviously the genetic makeup that we have and the variations that we carry, but again, these will have a very, very significant impact on our health. Canon BioMedical has decided to use PCR, polymerase chain reaction, as the main technology for the genetic variation testing. In the PCR workflow, normally we isolate DNA from human tissues, for example blood, then we multiply the DNA, and then we do a detection. And then for the detection method, we have chosen to use high-resolution melting, HRM, and this is different than some other companies have decided to do. So the HRM technology is generally very, very simple, very inexpensive, and has shown to be very versatile to be able to detect multiple of these genetic variations.
Akiko, Canon BioMedical is coming into a crowded market. What makes your solutions unique?
Canon BioMedical can make ourselves unique over competition in two different aspects. One is that we are, in fact, a late entrant to the market, and the other one is that we are part of a big Canon family. And being the late entrant to the market means that we can see all other players in the market, how they do, and we can also can learn the most recent scientific discoveries as well as technological trend and customer needs. So we can incorporate all that into our strategic planning, and we can offer better solutions and services and products. And being part of Canon, we have a tremendous asset. We have expertise and we have technology, and Canon is known for providing excellent customer experiences. And in fact, all of our technologies covers very many key components of biomedical solutions and products, starting from sensors, optical components, precision engineering, manufacturing in high volume, high quality, and also we have customer support that are provided in our global network.
Akiko, what's next for Canon BioMedical?
So Canon BioMedical is continue to make progress, and we are making solid steps towards building foundation for Canon's biomedical business, starting from quality management systems and all the infrastructure that supports customer experiences. And we are good at it. And we under the very good corporate philosophy of Kyosei, we listen to customers and we listen to our researchers and empowering them. And we are going to make a difference in medicine and healthcare. And I can't just wait to see all the changes we are making in the future.
At Canon BioMedical, Novaleo products are manufactured with with high quality in mind. We have set up a very controlled and documented system for supply chain management of all of our inventory, so that is raw materials, intermediates, components, and also the final product, using a validated ERP MRP inventory management system that allows us to track and control the suppliers of our materials. So we're looking for high quality suppliers, high quality materials, and with that system we can manage very effectively all of our materials, which gives us complete traceability to the reagents that we manufacture. Lastly, we have a quality control area, operations area, that also has very highly technically trained and knowledgeable personnel who test the Novaleo reagents, both analytically to look at their identity and also functionally. So we functionally test every reagent before it goes out the door to the customer. We want to ensure that the customer is receiving a high quality reagent that is going to work in their hands just as well as it does with ours. And we also offer a high quality product still to the customer because of all the extensive testing we have done. And also we have reduced the environmental burden not only to us, but to our customers.
Well, it certainly appears that Canon BioMedical is aligning itself to be one of the key players in the biomedical arena. Thank you both for joining us today.
Thank you very much, Kathy.
Yeah, thank you for having us.
Thank you. For Worldwide Business, I'm Kathy Ireland. Thank you for watching.